from Amos. Amos Johnson, you probably don't know him, but he's a driver I met when I first started racing a few years ago. He called me and asked me if I was interested in driving the 24 Hours of Nurburgring in Germany. We got over there and I found out Nürburgring is one of the most demanding race courses in the world. It's built around the old Nürburg Castle in the Eifel Mountain region of West Germany. It's supposed to be the longest, tightest, toughest road racing course in the world. Over 14 miles, 176 turns. On one lap you can drive in rain, sunshine, fog, and sometimes the snow. Because race cars aren't allowed on the course till race day, we had to learn the track in personal cars and private cars.
Okay, Jim, we've all been. Your turn.
Me?
Yep, come on.
Now?
Yep, you'll love it.
We had the help of a man who knows the ring better than anyone. He's a local, Heinz Enrique.
See ya.
So, und dann sich mal anschnallen.
Buckle up.
Jawohl.
Buckle up and see. Okay.
So, okay. Aufnehmen, geht's los. Schalten.
Oh, wow.
Und dann wollen wir mal. Und immer noch raus. Und schalten. Und rechts bleiben. Schön rechts bleiben. Und jetzt einen schönen Radius holen. Da hat der Tonhummers Anhaltspunkt.
Our maestro, Heinz, was one of the local traditional drivers. Rode motorcycles early on, and from what I could understand, he lost his arm in World War II. He was a captain of a Panzer tank. After that, he couldn't race the motorcycles he had, so he went to automobiles. So he's been around this track for many, many years, and we were really surprised that a man with one arm could talk with his hands, shift, drive with his knee all at the same time. And of course the first ride around the ring was a little apprehensive, but once we found out this man had the line down and he knew this ring totally, only every once in a while he'd get to talking and we'd get off in the dirt for a second, but he never seemed to bother him. He just kept right on talking. He never even took a beat. We learned a lot from just his attitude and his smoothness. We didn't understand a word of German. He didn't understand a word of English. And we understood everything he was telling us, because I guess a driver is a driver, no matter where you are.
Jetzt nach links, ganz nach links. Und geradeaus und wieder nach links raustreiben lassen. Ganz nach links und geradeaus auf die Spitze. Und schalten. Okay?
We qualified 20th and 21st in a field of 114 international entries.
Vom BF Goodrich Team Highball, die extra aus den Vereinigten Staaten hier herübergekommen sind, um mit ihren American Motor Spirit EMX mit der Startnummer 1 Amos Johnson, Dennis Shaw und James Brolin sowie mit der Startnummer 2 ebenso von BF Goodrich Team Highball genannt, Gary Witzenberg, Linson James, eine junge Amazone und Jim Donning. Very welcome to all of you American friends, very welcome to you here at Nürburgring to your first race in Europe. Okay. Hope you have good success in the 24-hour race in Germany.
Amos and I talked it over, and the plan was that Amos would start the race and run about a full gas tank, about 2.5 hours, and then I'd take over for the same length of time.
Down to that last 24 hours.
Yeah, the easy part, right?
Yeah.
Getting him here was a tough part.
Yeah, nothing to it from now on. Piece of cake.
Good luck and see. Good luck and see.
I'll see if I can save you some of it.
Okay, save me some.
Waiting for Amos became tougher and tougher, and I found as the moment for me to get in the car drew closer that my apprehensions were really running high. The track was tough enough in the daytime, but now I knew I was going out for the first time and at night, and I guess not knowing what to expect was the toughest thing of all. Early on, we seemed to have a problem with the clutches, under a lot of torque. They were slipping a little on us, and you could never tell how the brakes were going to respond. The brakes, as we went on, got a little worse, and all of us found that you had to pump them more and more, and then we'd stop and they'd work on the brakes, and then a shock would break and put another shock on. And the suspension would held up for us as we replaced parts, but the brakes never did get right.
Care to step over to my office?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we heard on the radio pretty much everything you said.
Oh.
As
I
far
was
as
trying to guess what the sign said, and it looked like it said, "How about I ahead?" And I thought Amos was holding it. It looked just like it was him holding it.
yeah,
So
he
I
was.
thought,
He was.
Oh. How about, as I interpreted it as, how about me just driving a little bit sooner than we had planned so I can figure out what's wrong with the car? And I tried to...
No problem, as long as you called in like you did.
Yeah.
Because if you hadn't called in, we would have been sitting here waiting for you to come by. No, the sign read, "Honk if you can read." And Amos said that
Well, it needs a little more light on it.
You like driving in rain? Try it at 170 miles an hour. Hours into the race, 8 hours to go. 36 cars have dropped out. There's 78 of us still running. Even with all our problems, we're still running near the front of our class. I guess the whole one thing you're after as a driver is to keep your speed up and balance it with adhesion. You go too fast and your car's going to go off the road. So you find that fine line that keeps your car on the road and you speed up. We didn't have any adhesion problems. The car stuck well on corners in dry and in wet. Our problems were our shocks and our brakes. Across the finish line, we'd driven nearly 2,000 miles and finished first and second in class, 20th overall. Not bad for the first American team ever to enter the 24 Hours of Nurburgring.